I call the Douglas County Dog Control Board meeting for Wednesday, March 19th, 2025. Call it to order. First thing on the agenda is the approval of the minutes of December 18th, 2024.
I've read the minutes and I move to accept them as presented.
Okay. So that's, we'll just sign. It's been moved to accept the minutes by Martin Burnett, and it was seconded by Lee Bartholomew. And the minutes stand approved. Public participation on agenda items only. Is there anyone here in the audience who would like to say anything?
We have nobody online.
Nobody in the audience is here at this time and nobody online. So we'll go ahead and go to the order of business. New business. Deputy Kirk is not available at this time because he's on a call. So we'll see if Deputy Dowdy has anything.
Yes, sir. So Deputy Dowdy, Douglas County Sheriff's Office. I'm gonna go ahead and give our stats for January 1 through March 15th of this year. Calls for service, 956. Citations, 40. Warnings, 82. Field interviews, 24. Bite reports, 22. I think that's low because some are still hung up in the pipeline there. And 6 incidents.
Okay. The next thing on the agenda is euthanasia certification for Deputy Dowdy and Deputy Kirk.
Right, we are going to be foregoing that. All euthanasia is going to be done through veterinary offices at this time. The license for the county is being held by Saving Grace. And if we need to get it back, we looked into, we can get it like within a month's time or so. If we ever need to go that route again, but as it stands, we're going through veterinary offices for that.
Okay. Does that also include the DEA?
Right, that
licensing?
Saving Grace is holding that.
Is holding that, okay. Any old business?
No,
Old business would be like, has there been an increase in like dogs and livestock or anything to that effect?
that's been holding pretty much as usual. What we do have right now is a huge rash of people dumping dogs due to right now the shelters aren't able to take any surrenders right now because they're overflowing full. So we've had a number of instances of dogs just turning up in places where they were presumably dumped. So that's kind of a big problem at the moment.
Okay.
Which is seasonal. I think that's fairly normal for the time of year
Yeah.
to some degree, so.
Usually after holiday seasons, there seems to be an uptake in that. The other thing I was telling Deputy Dowdy is that I testified yesterday up at Salem in regards to 2 bills. One is the state would have a licensing ability to license breeders. Right now they license animal rescues. But that would also then include them licensing breeders and make sure that they're staying up to making sure that they're treating the animals correctly and stuff like that. And the other one is to include in a public nuisance form for a potentially dangerous dog would also include them damaging or killing livestock. Mostly to address the lesser livestock claims like dogs and chickens, dogs and ducks, dogs and rabbits. So it could be handled as a violation and not have to go through a hearing.
Mhm.
And so we'll know more about that probably the next time we have a meeting. Phil, how are things in environmental health?
Doing good. Phil Kaiiliuli, Environmental Health. We ended 2024 with a total of 367 bite reports submitted to us, and we sent out 64 lost animal letters. So far in 2025, up through today, we have 86 reports submitted, and we've sent out 11 letters. So, which is pretty much on par for last year at this time. So.
Were there any positive rabies of last
No,
year?
We had 11, is that right? No, 6 total tests last year, 5 cats and 1 bat, and they were all negative.
Okay.
So we're still on our streak of 20-something years.
Yep,
So,
good.
Good, that's all we got.
All right, thank you. Well, if there's nothing else for anyone, we can go ahead and set our next meeting date and adjourn. Is June 18th. Is that good for,
Sounds good for me.
it's okay with me. And then we'll make sure we get a hold of Martin and let him know in advance, so,
John,
John.
yeah, Joe.
I'm here.
Okay, and so we'll have the next meeting on June 18th, 2025 at 6 p.m. and it'll be open to the public and also be on live stream.
And we still have nobody in our.
Okay, well, if there's nothing else, we'll go ahead and adjourn this meeting for this dog board.